أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين بارئ الخلائق أجمعين باعث الأنبياء والمرسلين، ثم الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الخلق وأعز المرسلين حبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد
وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المنتجبين، سيما بقية الله روحي وأرواح العالمين له الفداء. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا، حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. صلى الله عليك يا سيدي ويا مولاي يا رسول الله، صلى الله عليك وعلى آل بيتك المظلومين، صلى الله عليك يا أبا عبد الله، يا رحمة الله الواسعة ويا باب نجاة الأمة، غريب يا مظلوم كربلاء. سيدي يا ليتنا كنا معكم فنفوز فوزا عظيما. فبكيت حتى خلتها ستجيبني ببكائها، حزنا على أهليها. وذكرت إذ وقفت عقيلة حيدر، وذكرت إذ وقفت عقيلة حيدر مذهولة تصغي لصوت أبيها، تصغي لصوت أخيها بأبي التي ورثت مصائب أمها، بأبي التي ورثت مصائب أمها. فغدت تقابلها بصبر أبيها، لم تله عن جمع العيال وضمهم بفراق أخوتها وفقد بنيها. تدعو فتحترق القلوب كأنما يرمي حشاها جمرة من فيها. هذه نساؤك من يكون إذا سرى جرت في السر سائقها ومن حاذيها يسوقها زجرا بضرب متونها والشمر يحدوها بسب أبيها عجبا لها بالأمس أنت تصونها واليوم آل أمية تبديها لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. وسيعلم الذين ظلموا آل محمد أي منقلب ينقلبون. قال الله الحكيم في محكم كتابه الكريم أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إذ جعل الذين كفروا في قلوبهم الحمية حمية الجاهلية فأنزل الله سكينته على رسوله وعلى المؤمنين وألزمهم كلمة التقوى وكانوا أحق بها وأهلها وكان الله بكل شيء عليما. آمنا بالله صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
عظم الله أجورنا وأجوركم بمصابنا في عقيلة بني هاشم السيدة زينب سلام الله عليها، وجعلنا الله وإياكم ممن يسير على نهجها وعلى نهج أخيها الحسين عليه السلام. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us amongst the sincere lovers, followers, and may He raise our status and increase our rewards for gathering and remembering the calamities of the daughter of Imam Ali alayhi salam and the wise one of Bani Hashim, Zainab salamullah alayha, the daughter of Fatimah al-Zahra salamullah alayha. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent the Holy Prophet Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in a land and amongst people who practiced so much ignorance that were referred to by the Quran and by Rasulullah as the people of ignorance, al-Jahiliyyah. In fact, the ayah that I started with, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this ayah from Surah Al-Fath, He says, إِذْ جَعَلَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا فِي قُلُوبِهِمُ الْحَمِيَّةَ حَمِيَّةَ الْجَاهِلِيَّةِ. Those who disbelieved, the unbelievers, they filled their hearts with this hamiyya, and I'll explain what hamiyya is, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls it the hamiyya of jahiliyyah. It is coming from the time of ignorance, and those unbelievers continued having the same hamiyya of the jahiliyyah, of the ignorance era. In this ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describing the unbelievers versus the believers. He says the unbelievers, they have in their hearts al-hamiyya, hamiyyat al-jahiliyyah. On the other hand, the believers, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed them with sakinata fi qulubihim. So what is this sakina? Second is when you find peace and tranquility, a sukna, peace within one's own self. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought peace in their hearts. Though Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it in the hearts of the believers. The unbelievers, their hearts were filled with hamiyyah, hamiyyat al-jahiliyyah. So what is this hamiyyah? Hamiyyah is also known in Arabic as al-asabiyyah. Although the common term or the common understanding of the term might differ from the linguistic understanding. The common understanding is someone who's got anger, they say he's got asabiyya. Linguistically, however, asabiyya does not refer to anger and full stop. It refers to one having any kind of anger or any kind of being firm on wrongly supporting his group, his team, regardless of who his group or team is. That could be referring to some racial support, and that's called typically racism. It could be referring to some color support, and typically it's called discrimination, or it could be still under the title of racism. It could be to do with countries, my country versus your country. It could be in any shape or form where you have a strong stand for your party, regardless of whether they're right or wrong against the other party. This is called al-hamiyya or al-asabiyya. What are the stands of Islam to hamiyya? First, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls it al-hamiyya al-jahiliyya. So number one, as soon as you act with hamiyya, you have gone back to the ignorance era, to the time of jahiliyya. And if you are in jahiliyya, in other words, you're not a Muslim. Brothers, sisters, pay very good attention to this part. التفتوا إخواني أخواتي إذا كانت قلوبنا مليئة بالعصبية خرجنا من عالم الإسلام دخلنا إلى عالم الجاهلية. This is what Quran says. You've exited Islam and you entered into Jahiliyyah. Al-hamiyyata hamiyyat al-jahiliyyah. The contrary, the opposite is the state of the believers. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala fills their heart with peace and tranquility. They have peace with everyone. So there's no racism and asabiyya. Unfortunately, however, many of us, knowing or ignorantly, we fall in this trap of shaitan, which is the trap of hamiyya and asabiyya. In fact, so many people consider it a virtue. This is the sad part. Some people think it is a virtue to have a preference for your own people, your own group over the other group. Some people even say statements that are not Islamic and they attribute it to Islam. There's a statement in Jahiliyyah, very famous. It states, "Unsur akhaka zaliman aw madluma." Support your brother whether he's an oppressor or he's oppressed. Regardless, you have to support him. And that is clearly against the teachings of Islam. You stand with justice, and you stand with what's right against what's wrong. You stand with haqq against batil. You stand with the oppressed against the oppressor. Not just because he's your brother, or he's part of your party or group. That is Jahiliyyah. Some people say, حُبُّ الْأَوْطَانِ مِنَ الْإِيمَانِ is a hadith. To love one's hometown, is a good thing. It's part of Iman. Some people take that and use it, misunderstand the concept, and use it to justify their racism and their racial discrimination. They say even the hadith says حُبُّ الْأَوْطَانِ مِنَ الْإِيمَانِ. So what does the hadith mean? It is very obvious that the hadith is not referring to being racist. Yes, loving your hometown, loving the country that's carrying you. As there's another hadith that says, خَيْرُ الْبِلَادِ مَا حَمَلَكَ. The best countries or towns are those that carry you. If a country is peaceful to you, safe for you, and you're living there, it's a good country. You should love it and take care of it. It doesn't mean yet that you start becoming racist and discriminate against people from other countries or other races. That's not what it means. Unfortunately, you'll find that within Muslim countries and Muslim people, they act against Islam when it comes to this issue. The issue of hamiyya and asabiyya. Being racist and having that character of putting their team before others, regardless of who's right, who's wrong. And that continues. So what does that do to the faith? Now, we looked at firstly we looked at the ayah. And the ayah is very clear. Hamiyya is Hamiyyat al-Jahiliyyah. What about ahadith, an explanation of the ayah? And I want to share some of those ahadith with you. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
In one of those ahadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he says, Laysa minna. He is not from us. When he says he is not from us, in other words, he is not from the Muslim nation. He might be called a Muslim, but he's not a Muslim. Laysa minna. He's not from us. Who? He says, Laysa minna man da'a ila asabiyyah. Whoever starts calling people based on racism. Come, let's support this guy. He's from our tribe, from our family, from our team, from our center, against someone else. Why? Because he is from us against them. ليس منا من دعا إلى عصبية وليس منا من قاتل على عصبية وليس منا من مات على عصبية. Whoever calls for عصبية, any kind of racism or discrimination, is not from us. Whoever fights based on عصبية is not from us. And whoever dies on that عصبية is not from us. Is not a Muslim. Very simple. we'll look at more ahadith. In one of the ahadith, Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq salawatullah wa salamu alayhi, he narrates, he says that this is from Rasulullah, my grandfather Rasulullah. He says, "Man kana fi qalbihi habbatu khardal min asabiyyah, ba'athahu Allah yawm al-qiyamati ma'a a'rab al-jahiliyyah." The same as the Quran says. Whoever has the tiniest bit of asabiyya in their heart, and dies with that obviously, if they don't repent, if they don't clean their hearts from that asabiyya, and it continues with them until they die with it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of resurrection, He calls this person and He gathers them with the A'rab, the non-Muslim of Jahiliyyah, of the ignorance era. He might be calling himself Muslim, praying, so on, but with that asabiyya, that is what he will be gathered. Those are the people he will be gathered with, the A'rab of Jahiliyyah, the non-Muslims of the ignorance era. Very simple. So what can we do and how can we clean our hearts from asabiyya? The first and the most important thing is to recognize it, brothers and sisters. If we don't recognize a disease or an illness, we cannot cure it. We cannot work on it. So the most important part is to recognize it. We have to recognize that asabiyya within us. Once we ascertain that our actions are based on that asabiyya, then we have recognized a disease. One of the worst diseases of the heart. That the Imam is saying, a hadith from the Prophet ﷺ, that even habbatu khardal is the mustard seed of mustard, the mustard seed. Mustard seed is one of the smallest or tiniest seeds. He says even if a piece of khardal, in other words, even if you have in your heart the tiniest bit of racism, you will be gathered with the ignorance people of Jahiliyyah, non-Muslims. So we need to clean and cleanse the heart completely from it, not leave a tiny bit in there. How can we do that? As I said, first we have to recognize it. Now when we recognize something, we need ammunition, we need medicine to clean the heart from it. One of the most important things, brothers and sisters, is to realize the dangers of the asabiyya and what it leads us in this world before the hereafter. What is the path that starts with asabiyya? What is the destination? We know in the hereafter, Jahiliyyah, hellfire. In this world, let's look at some figures. You have figures in the modern day history that became the icons for humanity to be proud of, that spoke about equality, spoke about eliminating this racial discrimination and so on. And those figures, modern day history, they become icons that everyone is proud that the human race have produced such figures in this world. Muslims and non-Muslims, they praise such personalities. And as we go further back and I've given examples, people like Nelson Mandela. He fought to eliminate. He did not fight for black against white. If you read his history, you will realize that he was not fighting for black against white. No. He was saying black against white or white against black is wrong. We have to clear that. And he was, to a very high degree, he was successful. He fought, he had a cause, and he was successful. And he was remembered by many great people. not many years ago. He passed away a few years ago, and he was remembered by many great people. Such people are remembered. You go back in the history of mankind, same thing. And the first one who called against it in terms of the history that records, and the most clear statements that came from were from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Rasul of this ummah. Sallu alayhi wa alihi. From the beginning of his mission until the end, this was something he constantly reminded people of. Until his final Hajj and his final, or one of his final sermons, he spoke about it and clearly stated, there's no difference, black, white, this, that, no difference. One and only one difference, and only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can determine, which is taqwa, piety. This is one group. Let's look at the other side. The other side are the enemies of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In fact, they were fighting the Prophet and brought allies. The Battle of Confederates, Harb al-Ahzab, or Ma'rakat al-Ahzab. It happened because they went to every tribe in Arabia and they said to them, if you allow this man to continue on his mission, meaning Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if you allow him to continue on his mission, he will make your slaves equal to you, black equal to white, Ajam equal to Arab. That is what he's doing. Do you want that? They all said, no, we don't want that. Why? Because they have Hamiyat al-Jahiliyyah. We are Arabs, we're better than others. And therefore they gathered, they brought their heroes, they brought their strong men to come and fight and finish the Prophet and his mission. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala supported and aided the believers. And the ayah says, وَكَفَى اللَّهُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ الْقِتَالِ. And the Prophet ﷺ interprets and explains by saying, بِسَيْفِ عَلِيِّ ibn Abi Talib عليه الصلاة والسلام. صلوا على Because on the day of Khandaq, nobody fought except for Imam Ali. Everybody was too scared to fight. When Amr passed the Khandaq, he crossed the ditch and came to fight and called for a challenge. Nobody was willing to, except for Imam Ali. And the people of Jahiliyyah, the people of Hamiyya, started their hatred for the family of Rasulullah, specifically for the children of Imam Ali alayhi salam, from there. Because of those battles that he was fighting to establish equality, to establish what Islam wanted, the mission of Islam, that humanity should advance, we should go beyond these racial differences. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us different colors, different tribes, so that we could get to know each other, learn from each other, have dialogue amongst each other, not to fight each other. He fought for that, and therefore those people that wanted to continue racism and wanted to continue having the preference of the Asabiyya and the Hamiyya of Jahiliyyah, preference of Arab against non-Arab, Quraysh against non-Quraysh, those people held the family of Amirul Mu'mineen specifically as their number one enemy. Later on, they were forced to become Muslims because they realized that there's no way of fighting the Muslims anymore. They became too strong. The only way to beat them is to join them. That was their plot. So they joined Islam to beat Islam, not to become Muslims. And these are the Tulaqa, the family of Abu Sufyan. The Prophet on that day said to them, اذهبوا فأنتم الطلقاء. You are freed. Next thing, the son of the Tulaqa, Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan, fighting the Imam of his time, Imam Ali alayhi salam, he becomes the Khalifa of the Muslims. What happened to the history of Islam? This is a chaos in the history of Islam. And what happens to scholars and historians? Where are they? How blind can we be not to see the truth? The son of the arch enemy of the Prophet and the arch enemy of Islam that joined to beat Islam, and he declares it. And Muawiyah declares it in his poetry. He declares his real mission. And we turn a blind eye and a deaf ear of all that to say he's the Khalifa. Shame on us. Next thing, his son now comes from that tree. Look at the fruits of that tree. Yazid ibn Muawiyah. La'natullah alayhim. Look at that fruit of that tree. Shajara khabitha. Cannot give any fruit but khabith. Such a khabith that had no hesitation to attack all the respected things in Islam. Medina of the Prophet, attack it. Not only attack, rape the ladies in Medina. The army of Sham, you're free to do whatever you want. You're the victorious ones. As if they're fighting some non-Muslim, some enemy of Islam. And they're fighting the people of Medina, the people of the Prophet. Next thing, attacks the Kaaba, the house. The place of worship, the number one, the first place of worship. أول بيت وضع للناس. He attacks it and starts throwing it with the manjanik, with the caterpillars. Destroys the Kaaba. Read the history. This is Yazid. But the first faji'ah he did, the first disaster that happened in his time, was the atrocity and what he did in Karbala. To order for the grandson of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Imam Hussein, to be killed and slaughtered, and his family, to order for that to happen, was the worst of all. Yes, because the Prophet says a mu'min has more value in the eyes of God than the Kaaba. And what sort of a mu'min we're talking about? Sayyid Shabab Ahl al-Jannah. The Prophet says, Al-Hasan wal-Hussein, Sayyida Shabab Ahl al-Jannah. The master of youth in paradise orders for him to be killed so that he can have his throne firm for worldly pleasures and for asabiyyah. And he declares it. He says very clearly, I wish my grandfathers, ajdadi bi Badr, I wish my grandparents that were killed in Badr by the swords of the Muslims, and especially by the swords of Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam, I wish they were here to see how we took revenge from the Prophet and his family. We took revenge for those ajdad, our grandparents, who were killed by the Muslims in Badr. And then he says, لعبت هاشم بالملك فلا خبر جاء ولا وحي نزل. Hashim, Bani Hashim, the family of Rasulullah, are playing with a kingdom. It's a kingdom thing. They're fighting over kingdom, ruling us. Otherwise, there's no news from God and there's no revelation. Nothing. He declares his blasphemy, his kufr. Yet, you have some ignorant people today who say his name and next to it say radiyallahu anhu. La'natullah alayhi wa ala al Abi Sufyan. Such ignorance. That is why Zainab salamullah alayha, who we are remembering, reminds him of that. The worst calamity, according to Imam Zainul Abidin, that they went through was not in Karbala, and it was not in Kufa. It was when they arrived in Sham. They brought her to the castle of Yazid, shackled her and Imam Zainul Abidin in chains. They brought them in that place while they're in chains, and that is the worst calamity. She waited until everyone was quiet, people, some laughing, some making a mockery of the family of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wa alihi. Zainab Salamullah addresses alayha. She says, addresses him. She says, Amin al-adli yabna al-tulaqa. Is it fair, O son of the freed ones, those that the Prophet freed? Is it fair what you are doing? You're bringing the family of Rasulullah across the nation from one city to another and shackled in chains, bring them to your court. Is that fair? If the Prophet was here, would he be pleased with this? That's when the whole gathering started crying and weeping, and he had no choice but to order for the chains to be removed. This was Zainab Salamullah alayha. But she did go through more than that. In the city of Sham, Imam Zainul Abidin, when he's asked, what was the worst thing that you went through, Yabna Rasulullah? Out of all what you went through, seeing what happened to your father and brothers and your uncles and all Bani Hashim and all the companions, the sincere companions, all of them, what happened to them in Karbala, was that the most difficult thing? Was the journey to Sham, shackled in chains and being put on camels without saddles, was that the most difficult thing? He said, no, it was Ash-Sham. Ash-Sham, Ash-Sham, Ash-Sham. 3 times he says, it was the city of Sham. Why, Yabna Rasulullah? I will tell you why. Because they walked into the city and people who were saying the name of the Prophet as their prophet, who had declared their shahadatain, who were considered Muslims, some ignorantly and some knowingly, they are throwing garbage and they're throwing stones on the family of Rasulullah, treating them like captives of non-Muslim countries that were fighting Muslims. This was the treatment that they received as they entered the city. People coming to them and saying to them, Alhamdulillah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mercy on the Amir al-Mu'mineen that they called, the Kha'in, the La'in. They said, may God have mercy on them, on him. He made him victorious over you guys. And Imam Zain al-Abidin asked the old man who said that, he said to him, Ya Shaykh, old man, do you know who we are? He said, no, you're some people who fought the Muslims and were captive by the Muslims. He said, have you recited Quran? The old man said, yes. He said, have you recited the ayat regarding the qurba, the family of Rasulullah? He starts reciting to him, وَآتِ ذَا الْقُرْبَى حَقَّهِ, give the qurba their right. He said, yes. He says, we are the qurba. He says to him, have you recited the ayah that says, لا ولا أقول لا أسألكم عليه أجرا إلا المودة في القربى? He says, yes. He says, we are the qurba. And Zainab Salamullah alayha is watching all what Ahlul Bayt are going through. She is watching. As they entered the city, she asked the man who's carrying the heads. She said to him, take the heads ahead of the woman so that the women are not exposed. People are busy watching the heads and they don't see the woman of Ahlul Bayt, the woman, the family of Rasulullah. They're not exposed. And the man makes the opposite. He brings the heads amongst the ladies. And this is what Zainab is going through. Salamullah alayki ya Zainab. Assalamu alayki. Ya bint man qada zimamana qad ya Jibreel. السلام عليك يا بنت البدور السواطع السلام عليك يا بنت الشموس الطوالع السلام عليك يا أم المصائب يا زينب تذكر مصائبها سلوة وحمر الدموع عليها فاسكبي فكل النوائب تسلى لدى نوائب خير النساء زينب وهم في الخربة. الليلة أريد أن أذكركم إخواني أخواتي بمصيبة طفلة الإمام الحسين، لأنها مصيبة زينب، مصيبتها تجددت عند وفاة طفلة الحسين رقية عليه السلام، لأنها عندما استشهدت وهي أمانة أبي عبد الله كانوا قد جددوا الأحزان، كل الأحزان بذكراها. وهم في الخربة. They are in their own place in Sham. The daughter of Imam Hussein, Ruqayya, wakes up. She starts asking for her father. أريد أبي. They asked her what happened. And she says, I just saw my father, Imam Hussein, in my dream. He called me to him. I want my father, Hussein. All the ladies start weeping. They are weeping and crying. The news comes to the Yazid, the cursed Yazid. He said, what happened? They said to him, the daughter of Imam Hussein is asking for her father. He says to them, take the head of her father to her. They bring the head of her father. She watches the head. She carries the head in her lap. She starts crying until she faints. Imam Zain al-Abidin tells her, his aunt Zainab, Amma Zainab irfawha عن رأس أبيها فقد والله فارقت الحياة. Oh, Aunt Zainab, take her away. She has passed away. She has departed this world. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. وسيعلم الذين ظلموا آل محمد أي منقلب ينقلبون والعاقبة للمتقين. نسألك اللهم وندعوك باسمك العظيم الأعظم الأعز الأجل الأكرم، إلهي بمحمد وعلي وفاطمة والحسن والحسين وبالتسعة المعصومين من ذرية الحسين، إلهي بزينب ومصابها. استجب دعواتنا يا الله. اللهم ارزقنا توفيق الطاعة وبعد المعصية وصدق النية وعرفان الحرمة، وأكرمنا بالهدى والاستقامة. اللهم املأ قلوبنا بالعلم والمعرفة. اللهم طهر بطوننا من الحرام والشبهة. اللهم اهد شبابنا لما تحب وترضى، جنبهم معاصيك يا الله. اللهم اجعل عواقب أمورنا خيرا. شاف مرضانا، شاف مرضى المؤمنين والمؤمنات، مرضى الحاضرين، من سألنا الدعاء شاف مرضاهم جميعا يا الله. اللهم ارحم موتانا بحرمة السورة المباركة الفاتحة، حفظها صلوات.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.